Alright, so in this video is going to be a translation and a discussion of the second prose project passage for AP Latin 2026-2027, in which the Stoic philosopher Seneca is going to be talking about the nature of friends and friendship, especially from the Stoic perspective. And so, let's take a look. And this is, of course, from his letters that are written to a Lucilius that discuss various precepts of Stoicism. So let's continue, or start, I should say. Said, but if you think that, and so we have the accusative subject aliquem and then implied essay. If you think anybody is a friend whom, and normally we would translate datives to whom, for whom, but this dative is the object of the verb that requires datives. It's credo, credere, crediti, creditus, and so therefore no need for the English prepositions to or for. So if you think that anybody is a friend whom you do not trust, tantudem quantum, as much as you trust yourself, you are making a mistake vehemently. And nosti is really no wisty. You have not known enough the power of true friendship. And so the point here that he starts out with is that if you've got a friend, you need to trust that friend as much as you trust yourself. Truly a partner to help you through life, as it were. He continues on by saying, you truly discuss, share all things, all neuter, plural, accusative, substantives, names, everything with your friend. But first, about the friend, the amico, ipso, himself. So let's talk about how to choose that friend. After friendship, so after the friend has been made, it must be trusted. It must be believed. So in other words, once the friendship has occurred and you've then thought of the person as a friend, there must be that trust there. So after friendship, it must be trusted. Before friendship, judicandum est. It must be judged. In other words, choose your friends wisely and judge them. Think about them. Do they have the qualities? Do they have the characteristics that you're looking for in someone being a friend? Isti. Isti is the same as leila lud, iste star stood, but it has a sense of somewhat pejorative. Those freaking guys. Those guys truly mix together. And notice that this doesn't mean duty, but sense of right and wrong, right things to do. They mix together the right things to do, prae postero, in the wrong order. Those freaking guys who, against the precepts, the commands of Theophrastus, when they have loved, they judge. In other words, when the friendship has already been established, when they have made the friend, they continue to judge that person. And that's not what you do. And they do not love. They, in other words, do not commit to the right kind of friendship when they have made the judgment. And so the reverse order is that they make the friend, but they continue to judge the person. Or they have made a decision about the person, good to go for being a friend, yet they don't have that trust and that love there. And so, make sure you, A, first make the judgment in your mind, is this the kind of person who has the characteristics and the qualities I'm looking for in a friend? And once you say, check mark, all in with trusting them and letting them be as trustworthy as you trust yourself. We continue on. For a long time, do you think whether, and here we have obviously an indirect question with our subjunctive recipiendus sit. For a long time think whether someone must be received by you, future passive periphrastic, dative of agent. So this dative we're translating by because it's showing agency of the future passive periphrastic, which has that obligation. So again, think for a long time whether somebody, anybody, must be accepted, must be received by you into friendship. Choose your friends carefully. Think about it a long time. Is this somebody I want to be my friend? Pass that judgment. And when it has, I'm understanding this as a perfect subjunctive, and when it has pleased, when it has been pleasing to happen, i.e. the friendship to be made, accept, admit that person, that one, with your whole heart. And so, when the friendship is there, be all in to that friendship with that person. Loquere. Remember that for deponent verbs, loquor, loqui, locut, assume, their present imperatives look like the present active infinitive if it existed. And so here's the command. Talk with that one, that new friend. And here we have the correlative tam and quam. If it's a tantus or a quantus, look for another tantus or quantus, as much as, or tam quam, as blank as, to quote, as many as. And that's what we have here with the tam quam. So, talk with that guy, with that friend of yours that you've made, as boldly as with yourself. And so, again, they are an extension of you. You trust yourself, you trust them with equal intensity. Indeed, you live in such a way, ut is now our result clause, that as a result, you entrust nothing to yourself, if not a thing which also you are able to entrust to your enemy. What this means is that you are living your life in such a way that even if an enemy of yours, who obviously has your ill intent and will gossip about you, were to learn something about you, that it would not matter. Live as pure and as good a life without any sort of hidden malevolence or hidden bad qualities, that you can even have any of your enemies find out something about you and it would not make a difference. That's what is saying here. To share even with your enemy all of what you've got going on because you're living such a pure and good stoic life. But since, and the notes tell us that this interveniunt is the equivalency of sunt, sumesse, but since there are certain things which custom has made private, in other words, we all have certain things that we do keep private. It's just how life is. And so since that is the case, since there are certain things which custom has made private, mix, i.e. share, all your cares with a friend. Mix, share, all your thoughts with a friend. What this means is that you should live life purely, but we all have certain things that are private, that are to us. And so it is a friend that will help bear that burden to where you don't have to bear your own private thoughts alone, your own private anxieties, worries, concerns alone. You have that friend there to bear them with you. That's why the friend is so important, so that you don't have to go it alone and you don't have to bear the burden all on your own. If you think, and so what we have here is a future more vivid conditional with the if clause, the protasis with a future perfect, and our apodosis with a future. That's why you translated if the subject verbs at some point in the future, then the subject will verb at some point in the future. So if you think, implied the friend, faithful, so if you have judged this friend to be a faithful friend, you will do it. In other words, you will share and mix all your emotions, all your concerns, all your thoughts with that friend. And so, the key, remember, is that you've got to first make a judgment. Are they a good person to be a friend for you? But once that happens, you're all into the friendship. The trust is there, and they are there to help you bear whatever personal burdens and emotions and things like a true friend should. So, be a good friend to whomever your friends are. Thanks. Good luck studying.